Let me ask you something. How bad do you want it? I'm not talking about wishing. I'm not talking about hoping. I'm talking about wanting something so bad that you're willing to lose sleep over it, sacrifice for it, grind when no one is watching. That's the kind of hunger it takes to push yourself and make it happen. Greatness is never convenient. You must demand it of yourself daily. Most people think that successful individuals simply stumbled into a lucky break or had the path cleared for them by someone else. But the truth is, greatness does not operate on a convenient schedule. It doesn't show up at a comfortable hour. It doesn't knock when you're rested and relaxed. It comes when you're tired. It comes when you're frustrated. It comes when nothing seems to be working out, and yet you still choose to show up, give more, and push harder. You don't achieve greatness when everything is going well. You achieve it when things aren't going well, and you still keep moving forward anyway. That's the truth. People don't like to hear. They want shortcuts. They want easy ways. They want hacks. But greatness doesn't come to the lazy or the passive. It shows up for those who demand more from themselves, no matter how hard the road gets. Each day you wake up, you're faced with a decision. Do you coast or do you climb? Coasting is easy. It's what the majority chooses. But climbing, that takes grit, that takes sweat, that takes waking up early, staying up late, and doing the work that no one else wants to do. You have to demand greatness from yourself like it's non-negotiable. It has to become part of your identity, not something you chase occasionally, but something you commit to relentlessly. You can't be halfway in and expect full results. That's not how greatness works. It doesn't cater to your schedule or your moods. It only shows up when you're consistent, when you're disciplined, and when you decide that good enough is no longer good enough. There are going to be days when your motivation disappears, days when the doubt creeps in, days when the results don't match the effort. But that's when it matters most. That's when you look in the mirror and remind yourself why you started in the first place. You don't wait to feel like it. You act in spite of how you feel. Because demanding greatness from yourself means doing what needs to be done whether you want to or not. It's not about waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, or the perfect plan. It's about moving forward with what you have, where you are, and refusing to accept anything less than your best. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra you're willing to give when it's uncomfortable. That moment when you could stop, but you choose to keep going. That's where greatness lives. It's not in the spotlight. It's not in the applause. It's in the quiet, unseen moments of discipline and grind. And if you want it, if you really want it, you have to decide that you're no longer available for excuses. You are no longer going to negotiate with procrastination, self-doubt, or fear. You will get up. You will show up. And you will demand something higher from yourself every single day. You've got to create pressure within yourself. You've got to stop waiting on life to pressure you. Don't wait for the crisis to push you. Don't wait for failure to humble you. Create that internal demand now. Push yourself with intensity, with purpose, and with urgency. Act like your greatness is overdue, because it is. It's been sitting inside you this whole time, waiting for you to step up and take it seriously. You are capable of more. But capability without demand leads to mediocrity. You have to demand that potential to come alive. You have to pull it out of yourself even when it's hard, even when it's not fair, even when no one's clapping, because that's a cost of greatness. You give more than is required. You go longer than you expected to. You show up harder than the situation demands. And you do it again tomorrow. Your comfort zone is your enemy. Growth starts where comfort ends. The place where most people stay stuck is the place that feels the safest. It's the daily routine that never changes, the predictable patterns, the habits that keep them just busy enough to feel productive, but never challenged enough to feel uncomfortable. And the truth is that comfort zone becomes a trap. It's like a padded cage. It feels soft, it feels easy, but it keeps you locked away from your potential. Nothing great ever came from comfort. You don't level up by doing the same thing every day and expecting different results. You grow by facing the unknown. You grow by saying yes to situations that scare you. You grow by doing the hard things you don't feel ready for, but do anyway. People fear discomfort because it challenges their identity. Stepping outside that comfort zone exposes your weaknesses. It forces you to confront your doubts, your fears, your limitations. But what they don't realize is that discomfort is the very place where transformation lives. That resistance you feel, that's a signal that you're entering new territory. And every time you step into that resistance and keep going, you evolve. Your mindset sharpens, your confidence grows, your limits stretch. Comfort might protect your ego for a moment, but discomfort builds your future forever. So many people wait until they feel ready to chase their dreams. They want to be fully prepared. They want the fear to disappear, but that's never how it works. You move first. You jump first. You take action while you're afraid. You speak while your voice shakes. You go even when you're not sure how. The comfort zone tells you to wait. It tells you to stay small. It convinces you that failure is dangerous, but the real danger is never trying. The real failure is never taking that leap. Every breakthrough you'll ever experience begins the moment you step outside what's familiar. You have to learn to see discomfort as a gift. That pressure is how diamonds are formed. That tension is how muscles grow. That friction is what forces you to get better, sharper, tougher. You've got to lean into the hard things. You've got to deliberately stretch yourself. That means saying yes to things that scare you. That means showing up in rooms where you're the least experienced. That means being willing to fail, being willing to look foolish, being willing to learn, because all of that is what growth demands. Comfort will keep you liked. Comfort will keep you accepted, but discomfort will make you powerful. The uncomfortable path is where leaders are born. It's where confidence is developed. You build unshakable belief in yourself by walking into the fire and learning that you can handle the heat. Every time you do what's hard, every time you take on what feels impossible, you take a piece of power back from your fear. And that's how you grow. Not by reading about change, not by talking about it, but by stepping into the moment and doing the work even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Your dreams live on the other side of fear. Your next level lives beyond what's comfortable. Every time you settle for ease, you shrink your future. Every time you choose challenge, you expand it. Growth and comfort can't exist in the same space. One will always push the other out. And so you have to choose every single day. Do you want to feel good now, or do you want to become great later? Because you cannot have both. You either stay safe and stay the same, or you step up and step into something greater. Discipline and consistency will always outperform talent alone. Talent may give you a head start, but it's discipline and consistency that carry you across the finish line. The world is full of people with natural ability who never did anything with it because they lacked the structure to keep showing up. Talent without work is wasted potential. It's like having a car with a powerful engine but no gas in the tank. You can look impressive, sound great, and talk a good game, but without daily discipline and a commitment to consistency, you'll never reach the level you're capable of. The people who win in the long run aren't always the most gifted, They're the ones who show up every day, no matter how they feel, and do the work with focus, with intention, and with humility. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's setting a standard for yourself and holding yourself to it. It's waking up early to get your priorities done before distractions come. It's saying no to things that don't align with your goals. Discipline is sacrifice and is often silent. No one claps for it. No one praises it. But it's the foundation that everything else is built on. Every success story, every breakthrough, every accomplishment is rooted in disciplined effort over time. You don't build anything worthwhile in a day. You build it with daily choices, repeated actions, and small steps taken consistently in the right direction. Consistency is where most people fall short. They start strong, they get motivated, they get inspired, but then they stop, life gets in the way, or it doesn't feel fun anymore, or they hit a wall and give up. But the truth is, the results don't come from the beginning energy. They come from what you do after the excitement wears off. They come from your ability to stick to your plan even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when nothing seems to be changing, because something is always changing if you stay consistent. Your mindset, your habits, your endurance, your resilience. Progress is often invisible, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Discipline and consistency keep the momentum alive even when the results haven't shown up yet. Some of the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders in history weren't born with extraordinary talent. They built themselves with extraordinary work ethic. They mastered the fundamentals. They trained when no one was watching. They repeated the same drills, the same routines over and over until it became second nature. That's the power of repetition. That's the magic of consistency. It turns effort into excellence. It turns habits into identity. Over time, your actions start to shape your future, not by accident, but by design. Even on your worst days, discipline is your anchor. When motivation disappears, and it will, discipline is what keeps you grounded. It's what gets you moving when the mood is gone. It's what drives you to stay focused when everyone else is distracted. And that kind of daily self-control compounds into something powerful. Success doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence. It requires that you keep showing up day after day, even if it's not your best, because your worst consistent effort will always beat someone else's best occasional effort. Talent can take you far, but it won't take you all the way unless you combine it with relentless discipline and unshakable consistency. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to be the most disciplined. You need to be the one who keeps showing up when others stop. You need to be the one who follows through when it's hard. You need to be the one who refuses to give up just because it's uncomfortable. And if you do that, if you make discipline your lifestyle and consistency your identity, there's nothing you can't achieve. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves. Replace them with action. Every time you come up with a reason why you can't do something, you're not just delaying your progress. You're lying to yourself. Excuses are comfortable. They make you feel safe. They allow you to shift responsibility away from your choices and your habits. But the truth is, as long as you live in the world of excuses, you'll never tap into the power of your potential. Excuses sound good in the moment. They're often backed by emotion, fear, and even past experiences, but no excuse has ever built a business, transformed a body, healed a relationship, or created success. Action does that. Forward movement, no matter how small, will always create more impact than the best sounding excuse. Excuses come from fear. They come from the fear of failing, of being judged, of being uncomfortable, of not being good enough. So instead of facing that fear, we dress it up as logic. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. It's not the right season. But deep down, we know those aren't real reasons. They're just convenient barriers we use to avoid taking ownership. And the longer we repeat them, the more they become beliefs. We start to truly believe we can instead of realizing we simply haven't tried long enough, hard enough, or with enough commitment. And the longer we believe those lies, the further we drift from our goals, our purpose, and our greatness. You can't move forward while holding on to excuses. You can't climb high while clinging to limitations you've placed on yourself. Excuses keep you mentally stuck. They keep you emotionally weak. They rob you of the chance to grow, to stretch, and to discover what you're really capable of. And the moment you let go of excuses is the moment you reclaim your power. That's when your energy shifts. That's when your focus sharpens. That's when you stop reacting to life and start creating it. Action is the cure for every excuse. When you act, you prove to yourself that fear doesn't control you. When you take that first uncomfortable step, you break the illusion that you're stuck. Progress doesn't come from thinking about what could go wrong. It comes from doing something, anything, that gets you moving in the right direction. Action builds confidence. It creates momentum. It gives you feedback, and that feedback is far more valuable than sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. It's not that people don't have time, is that they don't prioritize. It's not that people don't have the resources, is that they don't get resourceful. The person who wants it bad enough finds a way. The person who doesn't finds an excuse. And if you really look at the people who are succeeding, they've had just as many reasons to quit as you've had. But they chose to act anyway. They chose to use what they had. They chose to get up and fight for what they wanted instead of making excuses for why they couldn't have it. Replacing excuses with action is a daily choice. It's not about being perfect. It's about being honest. Honest enough to say, I didn't make time for that because I didn't commit. Honest enough to admit, I avoided that challenge because I was scared. And once you're honest, you can change. Once you stop lying to yourself, you can start building the life you really want. It won't be easy. It won't be instant. But every action you take in place of an excuse is a step closer to the person you were meant to become. Every time you show up instead of backing out. Every time you do the hard thing instead of hiding behind a reason, you become stronger, clearer, and more unstoppable. Faith and hustle go hand in hand. Believe bigger and work harder. One without the other will leave you stuck in the same place, frustrated and confused about why things aren't moving forward. Faith is your foundation. It's the belief that what you can't yet see is still possible. It's knowing in your heart that even when things don't look like they're working out, something bigger is happening behind the scenes. But faith alone won't take you to the finish line. You can pray, you can visualize, you can dream, but if you don't put your feet to the ground and hustle, those dreams stay dreams. Hustle is your movement, it's your action. It's waking up early, staying focused, doing the boring stuff, the hard stuff, the things nobody sees. And when faith and hustle come together, you become unstoppable because now you're not just working blindly, you're working with vision, purpose, and divine backing. People often lean too heavily on one side. Some have faith, but they don't act. They sit back and wait for things to change, hoping something will magically happen. Others hustle endlessly, grinding day and night, but with no belief that their work is leading anywhere meaningful. Both of those extremes lead to burnout and disappointment. Faith without hustle is empty hope. Hustle without faith is blind effort. You got to believe so deeply in your dream that you're willing to work for it like no one else. That belief becomes your fuel on the days when nothing seems to be working. It's what gives your hustle direction. And your hustle becomes the physical proof of your faith. It says, I believe in this so much, I'm not going to wait for it. There will be days when the results don't match the effort. Days when you've done everything right and still feel like you're behind. That's where faith kicks in. That's when you remember that just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. You keep planting seeds, you keep watering them, and you trust that growth is happening underground even when you can't see it yet. And you don't just wait, you work, you sharpen your skills, you stay ready. You keep moving forward with relentless energy because you understand that your dream is worth every ounce of effort you can give. Faith also gives your hustle meaning. It reminds you that you're not just chasing success for the sake of ego, but because you were called for something greater. That calling requires effort. It demands sweat, discipline, and resilience. It asks you to do more than what's comfortable. Faith strengthens your mindset while hustle builds your muscle. Faith keeps your spirit alive while hustle keeps your hands busy. Together, they create a rhythm that pushes you through obstacles, setbacks, and long seasons of waiting. They give you patience and perseverance. They give you purpose and progress. Every successful person has had moments where they had nothing but faith and hustle. No guarantees, no roadmap, just a dream in their heart and a work ethic in their hands. They didn't let fear stop them. They didn't wait for perfect timing. They moved forward anyway. They believed when no one else did, and they outworked the doubt, the discouragement, and the discouragement. That's the formula. That's what separates those who talk from those who live it. Belief in the vision and relentless action every single day. You've got to believe bigger than your environment, bigger than your past, bigger than the doubts around you. Your belief sets the standard, your hustle brings it to life, and when you combine them, nothing can stop you. Not the critics, not the failures, not even the timing. Because when you believe and move at the same time, you become a force that not even fear can slow down. You don't need a perfect plan, just relentless execution and heart. Too many people get paralyzed trying to map out every single step before they begin. They wait for clarity, for confidence, for certainty, thinking the perfect strategy will protect them from failure. But in reality, no plan survives the real world untouched. Life throws curveballs, timing changes, and doors close unexpectedly. What matters far more than the plan is the commitment to keep moving. You can revise a rough draft, but you can't improve something that was never started. Taking imperfect action will always beat waiting for the perfect time or idea. If you put your heart into what you're doing and stay in motion, you'll figure out the rest along the way. Execution is what builds results. You can sit on an idea for months, even years, and it'll mean nothing until you act. All the inspiration in the world won't replace hard work. You can listen to all the podcasts, read all the books, watch all the motivational videos, but until you take those lessons and apply them consistently, nothing changes. Most people aren't short on information. They're short on action. They collect ideas like trophies but never do anything with them. That's the trap. You can't think your way into success. You work your way there. You stumble, you adapt, you grow by doing, not by dreaming. What makes someone unstoppable isn't their intelligence, their connections, or even their resources. It's their heart. It's how deeply they care about what they're building. It's the passion that drives them when results are slow. It's the grit that keeps them going when motivation disappears. That kind of heart can't be faked. It's the force that pushes someone to get back up after every setback. It's what fuels the late nights, the early mornings, the unglamorous grind. When you put your whole heart into something, people feel it. It shows in your effort, in your attitude, in the way you never settle. There will always be people with more experience, more education, more advantages, but most of them won't outwork someone with relentless execution. That edge comes from showing up every day, doing the best with what you have, and refusing to make excuses. You don't need all the answers. You need to act, assess, adjust, and repeat. The more you execute, the clearer your path becomes. The more you move, the more momentum you create. Plans can shift, strategies can evolve, but the discipline to keep going, that's the constant that separates winners from wishers. The truth is, clarity comes through action. You don't wait for it, you earn it. Every time you move forward, you learn. Every decision, every mistake, every win teaches you something that improves your direction. That's how real progress works. You don't suddenly become ready. You become ready through movement. Every imperfect step puts you further ahead than the person standing still. And every step shows you who you are, what you're capable of, and what you still need to work on. You've got to trust that your passion and persistence are enough to carry you through the unknown. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about being willing to figure it out as you go. It's about being brave enough to start with what you've got and bold enough to keep building even when the path is unclear. When you lead with execution and heart, you develop the skill, you earn the respect, and you create the opportunities that others are waiting for. You don't chase perfection, you chase progress. You don't wait for permission, you create results. You don't let fear dictate your pace, you let your purpose fuel your persistence.